Welcome to What If Deku Was in Data Live? With DEKU X tohka. Hit like, subscribe, and see our community tab for more. Let's dive in. We see Izuku standing up from a bench in a park. Izuku, where am I? He wondered as he looked around but only saw some buildings ahead, some trees, and a small lake. Am I dead? Izuku started walking to leave the park. Izuku, it's nighttime. He said as he looked at the sky and the stars. They're beautiful. He thought simply as he continued walking. Izuku left the park and started walking through the city. Izuku, I've never seen these places. He said as he looked at some shops, buildings, and places he hadn't seen before. Maybe I'm dead and I'm in some kind of limbo or hell to be tortured by demons. I've seen too many movies and series. He said with a sweat drop. Izuku spent the whole night walking through a certain part of the city. He couldn't visit everything. It was night and the city is somewhat intense, and ended up where he started, on the park bench. Izuku, sigh, hello again. He said with a small smile and then sat on the bench. Where am I? I don't know any place in this city and it's strange that there are no posters or signs of heroes. What's going on? He thought as he closed his eyes. Maybe resting a bit will help me think better. I'm kind of tired. And I think the sun will rise in a few hours. The green-haired guy didn't notice that the place was getting blacker, leaving a deep darkness while a kind of mist came out, leaving only Izuku and the bench he was sitting on. Then, Izuku began to open his eyes little by little but saw the sky and it was completely dark, not a single star. Izuku, huh? He said and looked ahead, darkness. He looked around, also darkness. Maybe my theory that I'm in limbo isn't so wrong now. Then, the green-haired guy noticed that in front of him, in the immense darkness, a person in a hero costume began to emerge. Izuku, who could she be? He said as he watched her walk towards him. A few seconds they stood face to face, Izuku sitting on the bench watching her. His face was bored but it was clear he was nervous and scared. He couldn't deny it while the person was a woman. She seemed calm as she looked at him. Izuku, hi? He said and she gave him a small smile, confusing him. Who are you? Nana, my name is Nana Shimura. Izuku, so should I call you Nana or Shimura? Nana, call me whatever you want. Izuku, stalker? Nana had a vein on her forehead. Nana, then just call me Nana or Mrs. Nana, it's better than that, Izuku. Izuku, okay, Mrs. Nana, but what's going on? Where am I? What is this place? And how do you know my name? Nana, many questions for the first time we talk. I'm glad in answering your questions. Well, you're in the core of One for All. What's happening is that you are the ninth holder of this power and I know your name because I'm like your conscience. I saw all your memories. Izuku, can I call you stalker? Nana, no, and why so calm? Izuku, well, I'm actually very scared and nervous, but in a way, I don't really care, since I don't know anything about here and I think I'm in limbo, hell, or heaven, although I don't know any more, but am I dead? Nana looked at him sadly. Was his life so bad that he didn't care about anything now? Nana, you're not dead, rather I don't even know where we are specifically. Now you're in the core but outside, I don't know. I saw what you saw and I don't know those places either. All my time as a heroine I don't know this city either. She said as she sat next to the green-haired. Izuku, sigh, so are we in another world? Nana, you're not dead. Izuku, I didn't mean that. If we're in another world, like another universe or dimension. Nana, oh, that. I already told you I don't know. Izuku, wonderful. My life was trash. I have this power because I'm the ninth or something. But for what? I'm not even in my world. I can't be a hero. Not that I care anymore. Nana, Toshinori, you're lucky I'm not with you. Izuku, by the way, why are you with me? How do I have this power? Nana, well, this power passes from one bearer to another, as you've probably realized being the ninth. Izuku, yeah, but then who are you? Nana, the seventh. Izuku, oh, and the eighth? Nana, All Might or Toshinori. Izuku, oh. He said, lowering his head a bit. Before Nana could say anything, a loud scream was heard. Damn witch. You got here before me. Izuku looked and saw a bald man. Nana, that's what you get for being slow. She said, signaling that it wasn't the time to fight. He understood and quickly sat on the bench. Izuku, this is weird. Nana / why? Izuku, because I don't even know him well, and you could have told me your name. Question mark, I'll tell you when you deserve to know it. Izuku, I get it, baldy man. He said calmly, causing Nana to laugh and the bald man to get irritated, but then he calmed down. Question mark, well, I'll get straight to the point because you're about to wake up. Izuku, am I sleeping? The bald man looked at Nana. Nana, I was just about to tell him that. She said a bit nervously. Question mark, whatever. I'm the fifth bearer of one for all. Izuku, I understand. But can we call it Ofa? It's tedious. Nana / sure. They said, causing a sweat drop from the green-haired boy. Question mark, and we're going to train you to master Ofa. Izuku, for what or why? Nana, so you can be strong and prepare for the things this new world holds. Question mark, and because we're bored, being with you without knowing why. And we're too lazy to watch what you see without action and explosions. Izuku, explosions? He said, but then calmed down. Well, I don't have anything better to do, but I'll try to live my life. Question mark, of course, study, get a job, have a girlfriend or multiple, we don't care. We care that you train and learn to use Ofa. Izuku blushed at the mention of getting a girlfriend. Izuku, whatever. When do we start? Then everything started to clear up, and more silhouettes appeared. Everyone, when the sun covers again. Izuku, huh? Then Izuku opened his eyes and began to breathe heavily as he looked around, realizing it was daytime and noticing people passing by. Some looked at him strangely, but some girls looked at him with a slight blush as they found the green-haired boy cute and endearing. Izuku, so? A new world, huh? He said as he stretched. Well played, world, but I won't go through that again. Mom, we'll see each other, but sorry, it'll take a bit longer to visit you. Having a life without Kachan and the others isn't so bad. It's time to start my new life. He said with a big smile. For you, Mom. 8 months later. We see Izuku in a somewhat small but not too big house, in his room sleeping peacefully when suddenly an alarm goes off. The green-haired boy turns off the alarm and starts getting up slowly. He goes to the bathroom, gets ready, then heads downstairs to the kitchen where he starts to hear the voice of Nana and the other holders. All, good morning, Izuku. They said at the same time, causing Izuku to feel a slight dizziness and a headache. Sorry, he. Izuku, sighs, relax. He said as he started making breakfast. Nana, too much salt. Daigoro, ignore her, it's fine like this. Nana, what do you mean, ignore me? You bald jerk. Daigoro, shut up, you witch. They had a mental fight while Izuku started to feel a headache slowly building up. Hikage, can you guys calm down? You're going to give the poor kid a headache. Both, alright, but this isn't over, got it? They said as everyone had a sweat drop. Nana, they never change. Izuku remained silent as he was calmly cooking, humming to himself. He finished making breakfast, sat down, and started eating. Izuku, maybe I put too much salt. He said while eating. Nana, I told you. Izuku / Daigoro, what a pain / you in this time, which? Izuku just sighed and continued eating. He finished his meal, washed his plate, grabbed his bag, and started heading to school. Izuku, it's nice to breathe the fresh morning air. He said with a slight smile as he walked calmly. Nana, yeah, and I still can't believe it's been 8 months since we arrived here. Izuku, me neither, although there has been progress in that time. Daigoro, yeah, you've mastered Ofa at 45% and with effort, about 50 or 55% of full cal. Yoichi, all thanks to you imagining it like some kind of microwave. Nana, that was my idea. Izuku, yeah, a big change, although it also helped me get in good shape, but I got a lot of attention from the girls, it's a bit tiresome. He thought with a slight blush. Nana, by the way, everything's going well with the job, right? Izuku, of course, although I owe a lot for accepting me at that time despite my age, because thanks to that, I have what I need to live peacefully, a comfortable house and food, what you earn with pure effort. Although we also gained information in this world. Izuku, something like here there are phenomena called spatial earthquakes or something, although none has occurred so far in the time we've been here. Hikage, although it surprises me that none has occurred. Izuku, true, but let it be that way, I want peace besides everything has been calm since we arrived. Daigoro, yeah, but when you act like the hero or vigilante, those armored girls attack you. Izuku blushed remembering his outfit. Izuku, somewhat peculiar to see. He thought as he remembered the moments he fought against them, since most of them always escaped. Nana, speaking of that, the suit we made seems scarier. Every time they see us, they run away. Daigoro, although in a way, you look like that person disguised as a bat. Izuku sighed. Izuku, that's what it was, don't complain. Nana, although I'm surprised that despite everything you've been through, you don't cross that line. Izuku, huh? Are you talking about me becoming a villain or killing people? Like an anti-hero. Although speaking of that, I've thought about it, but I'll never cross that line, or at least I don't want to, because my mom didn't want that. He thought, and when Nana was about to speak, she was interrupted. We're here, he said with a smile as he looked at the academy. Then he entered, and that was his day, studying, learning, and though Izuku found it all very easy honestly, during this time, he met a blue-haired boy. His name is Shido Itsuka. Although the green-haired boy didn't talk much with him, he always came and sat at his seat, without talking to anyone, although slowly he started talking to the blue-haired boy, thus having a friend. Although it was difficult for him to talk because of so much abuse in the past, it made him nervous and he simply made an excuse to leave. It's different when he puts on the suit or when the situation gets tense. Apart from that, he's nervous or a little bit shy to socialize, but he forces himself. Hours later, we see Izuku walking towards his house. Izuku, just another day, he thought as he sighed. Nana, that Shido guy is a good person. Izuku, huh? Shido? Ha, him, yeah, he's a good person. Nana, although I'm glad you have a friend. Izuku, well, at first I arrived and everything was normal. Days passed and he approached me and started talking to me. Slowly I started talking and I think we're friends. He thought with a smile. Minutes passed talking with the other holders of OFA, and then he arrived at his sweet home, entered, went upstairs, entered his room, changed and went downstairs to prepare his dinner. So he spent his night, talking and storytelling with the holders until it was time for him to sleep. He only trained in the early morning and lately not much since there wasn't much interesting happening, but he didn't let his guard down with those spatial earthquakes. He was a bit cautious. Next day, we see Izuku sleeping, but then the alarm rang but he didn't hear it and kept sleeping. Everyone, oh no. The holders thought, seeing how the green-haired boy didn't wake up with the alarm, they couldn't try again as it hadn't worked the other times they tried. Minutes later, we see Izuku waking up slowly. Izuku, yawns, I slept well, he said, and then looked at the time. He paled. I'm late. Izuku got ready quickly and just ate a slice of bread for breakfast because of the hurry. Then he rushed out to school. Izuku, damn. Our green-haired boy thought as he ran towards the academy. The holders watched him with a sigh, but then they felt a tremor. Izuku, huh? He said as he stopped. An earthquake? Then a small explosion occurred in the city. Izuku, what the? Izuku looked in the direction, got serious, and quickly went to see. We see Izuku running through the city, noticing that this area is destroyed. Yoichi, who did all this destruction? Nana, I don't know, but we shouldn't let our guard down. Izuku stopped and sighed, then green rays started coming out, and his left eye turned crimson red like the tips of his hair. Nana, what are you doing? Nobody knows if someone might recognize you. Izuku, that's why, he said, and then took out a mask from his backpack and put it on. Ta-da! Nana sighed. Nana, will that work? Izuku activated OFA up to 5% and started running faster, but then he saw Shido in the distance with a girl wearing armor and holding a sword. Izuku, but what? He said, then got serious when the girl raised her sword, indicating she was going to attack Shido, so he increased OFA and dashed off. Shido, wait, I'm not going to attack you, he said, alarmed. I don't believe you, she said, then thrust her sword. Shido closed his eyes, expecting his death, but it never came. Instead, he felt a strong breeze, gradually opening his eyes to find himself in a slightly distant building. Shido, what? Was all he said as he was very confused. With Izuku, we see Izuku returning to where the girl with armor was. Izuku, I don't know what Shido was doing here, but I'm glad nothing happened to him. When he returned, he noticed a large cut on the ground, realizing if she wanted to kill him. Then he looked at the girl. Who are you? Izuku, you can call me Deku, he said seriously. Deku? Whatever, did you also come to attack me? She said while preparing to attack. Izuku, what? No, why would I attack you? He said a little nervously. I don't know, as soon as I arrived, everyone who came near me attacked me. She said seriously, but Izuku noticed sadness in her eyes. Izuku, then, I won't attack you, so relax, okay? How do I know you're not lying? She said, pointing her sword at the green-haired guy. Izuku, because I want to save you. He said, and the green ray stopped. That surprised the girl? Save me? No, I don't believe you. She said and launched an attack towards our green-haired friend. Izuku, oh no. He said and activated Ofa again, dodging it. That was close. Then a small fight started, the girl trying to stab him, but Izuku evading it. Izuku, hey, calm down. Someone could get hurt. He said and dodged another attack. Stop moving. She said, pouting a little. Izuku, and let you kill me? No. He said nervously. But I have to do it, otherwise you'll attack me. Izuku, I already told you I won't attack you, I'll help you. I don't believe you. Izuku deactivated Ofa. Izuku, see? I won't attack you. He said, noticing the girl lowering her sword. B but why? Everyone attacks me, why not you? Izuku, because it doesn't make sense, unless you did something bad? When I arrived, maybe I caused all this destruction. She said, waiting for the green-haired guy to produce the rays again, but he didn't. Izuku, so it was you, huh? He said, looking around. I thought you arrived and they thought it was you who did this? Now that you know, you'll attack me, right? She said seriously. Izuku, tell me, did you do it on purpose? Or was it an accident? Huh? Izuku, just answer, okay? It was accidental. She said, lowering her head slightly. Izuku, then I can't attack you. He said, surprising the girl. Since you didn't do it to harm, but to defend yourself, isn't it? He said, and the girl fell silent. I'll take that as a yes? But they call me a monster. A being that only causes destruction. She said, lowering her head further and gripping the sword tighter. Izuku, I know you're not. He said, and she looked at him. By your gaze, I know you're not, so you can calm down, I won't attack you. He said, approaching her, and she took a few steps back. Stay away. She said, pointing her sword at him again. Izuku ignored her and kept walking towards her. Izuku, see? You can attack me, and that's as far as I'll go, but I didn't. He said, removing his mask, showing a smile. I know you're a good person. He said with a big smile, then put his mask back on. What do you say we talk? Okay. She said with a smile and lowered her sword. Izuku was about to say something, but then activated Ofa, and the girl thought he was going to attack her, so she was about to attack too, but got confused when the green-haired guy grabbed her like a princess and made a big leap, getting away from there, and then there was a small explosion. He saved me. She thought incredulously as she looked at the green-haired guy who was staring seriously at the attacker. Leader, well, let's kill two birds with one stone. She said seriously. It was a girl with somewhat strange armor, and she wasn't alone, there were several others with the same armor. Izuku, you again? I worried for nothing. He said calmly as he carefully lowered the girl. Leader, idiot. Don't underestimate us. She yelled and aimed her weapon at the green-haired guy, followed by the others. Izuku, girl with the armor. We have to go? Why? I can kill them. Izuku, that's not the idea. Besides, it would be tedious to fight them? You're right. She said with a smile. Izuku watched as they fired, but was surprised when the girl made a slash, diverting the attacks elsewhere, causing explosions. Izuku, that was amazing. But we have to go. He said and started running. But then he stopped as he didn't see the girl, so he looked back and she was still there. Izuku, what are you doing? We have to go? Yes, but I want you to carry me again. She said with a slight blush. Izuku, huh? He said, but then. Leader, finish them. Izuku, but what is that thing? He said, dramatically pointing to a spot where there was nothing. Everyone looked, and the girls with armor aimed where the green-haired guy pointed, but they saw nothing. They looked back at him, but he was no longer there, like the girl. Daigoro, ha 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 ha, I didn't know that crap would work, ha 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 ha. He started laughing, but he wasn't the only one, as some carriers also laughed, while others just gave a smile. Leader, damn it, I can't believe we were tricked by that stupidity. She shouted in frustration, while the others just felt embarrassed and had a depressive aura. With Izuku. We see him on top of a building while carrying the girl like a princess. Izuku, I think they won't find us here. He said, lowering the girl. I can't believe that worked. Thank you. Izuku, what is this? Bipolar? She was distrustful of me before, but now it's different. Maybe she already trusts me? So soon? It's clear she's suffered like me, maybe worse. He thought and said. By the way, what's your name? Name? You mean, like a name? She said, and he nodded. I don't have one. Izuku took off the mask. Izuku, how come you don't have one? Is it necessary? Izuku, of course, it would be easy to call you that way. He said with a smile. MNNN, for example, my name is Izuku Midoriya, nice to meet you? But wasn't your name Deku? Izuku, well, that's like my nickname? Nickname? Izuku, I'll explain that later? Okay, then. Can you give me a name? Please. She said, surprising the green-haired guy. Izuku, me? Give you a name? Yes. Izuku, but wouldn't it be better for you to choose your own name? No, I'll like the name you choose for me, I want you to give me a name. She said, starting to pout. Izuku, okay, but calm down, okay? Yes. She said, hugging him, making him nervous and all red. Are you blushing? Are you okay? She said, a little worried about the green-haired guy. Izuku, I'm fine, don't worry. He said nervously, and she nodded. All right, a name for you. A name for you. He said as he thought. Daigoro, call her Tokita. Nana, couldn't you think of a better name? Daigoro, all right, give a better name than mine. Nana, well, how about Kon? Daigoro, that's even worse than mine. Yoichi, it would be better if Izuku chose it, they're really bad at naming. Hikage, I agree. No doubt. At that moment, Nana and Daigoro had a depressive aura, causing a sweat drop to everyone. Izuku, how about Tohka? He said a little nervously, unsure if she would like the name. Tohka. I love it. I adore my name. Thank you so much, Izuku. Tohka. She said, giving him another hug while repeating her name over and over. Izuku, I'm glad you like your name, Tohka. He said with a smile. Tohka, thank you so much. She said, starting to tear up. Izuku, are you okay? Tohka, yes, it's just that you're the first person who has treated me well, you even defended me from them. I really appreciate it. Izuku, Tohka, don't worry, no one else will hurt you. Do you know why? Tohka, why? She said, wiping her tears. Izuku, I can't believe I'm going to say this. He thought, then sighed. Because I'm here, Tohka. He said with a calm smile. Tohka, Izuku. She said, giving him a smile. Thank you so much. Izuku, you're welcome, but I think it's getting a bit late, so it's probably best if we go, don't you think, Tohka? Tohka, hi. Izuku, where do you live? I can take you there. Tohka, live? Izuku, yes, like in a house. Tohka, I understand, but I just arrived as I told you. Izuku, I forgot. Tohka, and do you have a place to live? Izuku, of course. Tohka, then. Can I live with you? Izuku, sure. Wait, what? Tohka hugged our green-haired guy. Tohka, yes. I'll live with you. Izuku. She said, but then felt a hug from the green-haired guy, this time she hugged him back. Huh? Izuku, I'm glad this makes you happy, Tohka. He said with a smile. Tohka quickly separated from the hug, confusing our green-haired guy. Tohka, why did I feel nervous? Izuku, are you okay, Tohka? Tohka, huh? Yes, I'm fine. Izuku, alright, let's go then. He said and Tohka nodded, and they left. A few seconds later, the green-haired guy returned. Izuku, what's wrong? Aren't you coming? Tohka, yes. But carry me again, I like it when you do that. She said with a smile. Izuku blushed but sighed, carrying her again in a princess style and started to leave. Izuku, all this happens to me because of my kindness. Although, he thought as he looked at Tohka who was smiling. I'll protect that smile. Tohka, he thought with a smile. We see Izuku opening the door to his home. Izuku, welcome to my sweet home, he said with a smile. Tohka, it's pretty, she said excitedly as she entered. Then Izuku goes out and looks around seriously. Izuku, yes, no one saw us, he said and went back into the house. We see Tohka sitting on the sofa while Izuku explained to her with a scientist's coat, and next to him, there was a chalkboard. Izuku, and this is how you use the TV, he said and then turned on the TV. Tohka, it's a bit confusing. Izuku, but you asked me to explain how it works, he said with a chibi face. Tohka, but explaining it just confuses me more. Izuku, sighs sorry for explaining it like that. Tohka, apology accepted. Izuku, I can't believe she apologized for this, he thought comically. Anyway, Tohka, I'm going to make food now, he said and she looked confused. Don't you know what food is? Tohka, of course I do, but the food from this place confuses me, I've never tasted any before, she said a little nervously. Izuku, then I hope you like my food, Tohka, he said and then went to the kitchen. While Izuku was cooking, Tohka went to explore every corner of the house. Tohka, alright, only Izuku's room is left, she said excitedly. She opened Izuku's room door slowly, then paused for a moment, looking at where he rested. Tohka, how cute, she said as she looked around, then she looked at the bed, and the armor began to fade away and slowly lay down on Izuku's bed. This is comfortable. Such quality, she thought with a smile and a slight blush, then she covered herself with the sheets. It won't matter if I sleep for a moment, she thought and started to sleep. Minutes later, Izuku called Tohka to come and eat. The food was ready but she didn't respond. He went to the living room and she wasn't there. Izuku, maybe she went to check the house. Izuku started to go to every corner of the house and found no trace of Tohka, then only one place was left, his room. Izuku, she wouldn't be in my room, right? He thought and slowly opened his room. He was left with a chibi face when he saw Tohka sleeping peacefully in his bed. Izuku, I don't want to wake her up, she seems to be enjoying it, he thought as he watched Tohka sleeping with a smile. But if I don't wake her up, she'll get cold, and I want her to enjoy herself to the fullest, and reheated isn't the same, he thought with a chibi face. Izuku stood in front of Tohka sleeping, and it seemed like she wasn't going to wake up. Izuku, Tohka, sorry but you have to wake up, he said and then gently nudged her. The food is ready. He paused as he realized she was wrapped up in the sheets, looking a bit disheveled but modestly covered, causing Izuku to blush heavily and quickly cover Tohka with the sheets. But then Tohka started to wake up. Tohka, huh? Izuku, what's wrong, she said as she got up, but then Izuku stopped her. Izuku, don't get up. Wait until I leave the room so you can change your clothes, the food is on the table, I'll wait for you downstairs, he said nervously and quickly left. Tohka, so sweet, she thought with a smile, then got up from the bed and summoned her armor. Tohka calmly went downstairs to the dining room, where she saw Izuku eating peacefully with an extra plate in front of him, indicating it was hers. Tohka, huh? Are you eating already? You couldn't wait for me to eat together? Izuku ignored that and continued eating calmly. Tohka, don't ignore me. Izuku, he, sorry, but there's still something on my mind that won't go away, he said with a slight blush from remembering earlier. Let's just eat peacefully. Next time, I'll wait for you so we can eat together, alright? Tohka, fine, I'm okay with that, she said with a small smile and then sat down, starting to eat. Izuku, by the way, I'm going to buy you some clothes and... He couldn't finish because he saw Tohka frozen with a spoon in her mouth. Huh? Tohka? Tohka, it's delicious, she said and started enjoying every bite. It's really good. Izuku blushed a bit. Izuku, I'm glad you like it, Tohka. Tohka, like it? I love it. I'll be looking forward to your food every day now, she said and finished eating. I want more. Izuku, he, alright, I'll serve you another plate, he said and took Tohka's plate, went to the kitchen, and came back with more food. Here you go. Tohka, thank you, Izuku, she said and started eating again. Yummy. Izuku, yummy? He thought comically. Tohka, If you're going to live with me, we'll have to buy you some clothes. He said, and she looked confused. Tohka, clothes? Why? Do I look bad in my armor? Izuku, no, you look very beautiful. He said, making Tohka blush. I just mean it would be odd for people to see a girl in armor. Tohka, oh okay. She said and thought. He called me beautiful. She thought happily while eating. Wait, I can change clothes just by looking. Izuku, you can? Tohka, of course, watch. She said and then changed her outfit to something more casual. See? I saw this on TV. Izuku, that's incredible, Tohka. Tohka, hee hee hee. After finishing the meal, Izuku took the dirty dishes to the sink to wash, and then he went to the living room, noticing Tohka watching television and still wearing her casual clothes. He smiled and went to the bathroom to take a shower. After a while, he came out, went to his room to dress, then went downstairs and saw Tohka still watching TV, with a program about learning to make desserts. He sat next to her, and they spent the rest of the day watching TV together, sometimes talking to get to know each other better. Izuku, by the way, Tohka, what are you? Tohka, huh? Izuku, I mean, you're not human, right? Tohka, I'm not human, but I'm not sure what I am exactly. But those girls used to call me spirit, halt, and I think that's what I am. Izuku, a spirit? Tohka, yes, and you're a human? Izuku, yes. Tohka, MNNN, but I haven't seen humans shoot green rays. I take advantage that we're talking about this to ask you. Izuku, let's just say I have powers that other humans don't have. Tohka looked at him with stars in her eyes, he sighed, and Izuku noticed it was night already, so he got up to prepare dinner. They prepared it together, with Tohka wanting to help this time. At first, she made a mess, but Izuku managed to prevent it from getting worse, and they managed to make a decent dinner. They ate, and Tohka enjoyed every bite. Izuku cleaned the dishes, then went to his room, changed into his pajamas, and lay down on his bed. Izuku, MNNN, I hope Tohka is comfortable in the guest room. Izuku slowly started to close his eyes, but then he heard the door opening carefully and felt someone getting into the sheets, then felt someone hugging him. Izuku, Tohka? He thought as he lifted the sheets, indicating that it's Tohka hugging him. Tohka, why are you here? He said with a slight blush. Tohka, I just want to sleep with you. Izuku, but isn't the bed in the guest room comfortable? Tohka shook her head. Tohka, I prefer this. She said, hugging Izuku a little tighter. Izuku, sighs all right, but just for tonight, okay? She smiled and nodded, then started to adjust herself to get more comfortable, ending up with her back against Izuku. Izuku, good night, Tohka. He said with a slight smile. Tohka, good night, Izuku. She said with a smile. Izuku was about to sleep, but then he felt Tohka hugging him from behind. At first, he felt nervous and blush, but then he calmed down, remembering his past and comparing it with the present. Izuku, a big change. He thought with a smile, then drifted into a deep sleep. Tohka slowly woke up. I slept well, she said, realizing Izuku wasn't there. Instead, he had left a pillow in his place. Izuku? He must have gotten up early, she muttered, getting ready and heading downstairs. Good morning, Izuku. Tohka greeted with a smile, but her expression fell when she saw he wasn't there. Confused, she searched the house but couldn't find him, growing increasingly worried. Tohka ended up in the living room, her gaze lost. Izuku? Where are you? If this is a game, you're really good, but please, stop. Don't leave me, she pleaded, tears welling up. I don't want to be alone again. Did you really leave me? Suddenly, she heard the door open. Rushing to check, she found Izuku, who had returned from training and shopping. He was a bit sweaty but had brought groceries. He had also bought clothes for her. Good morning, Tohka, Izuku greeted as he closed the door. Good morning, Izuku, Tohka replied, quickly wiping her tears. I'm glad you're back. Smiling, Izuku took her hand and led her to the living room. Come with me. I have a surprise for you, he said. Blushing slightly, Tohka followed, curious. What's going on, Izuku? She asked. I got you a present, Izuku said, revealing the clothes. Tohka was surprised. But I can change clothes on my own, she started to say, but Izuku interrupted. I know, but I wanted to give you a gift, he explained, surprising her even more. Tohka chose a shirt, her head slightly bowed. Tears threatened to spill again, but Izuku didn't notice as he showed her what else he had brought. Then, Tohka couldn't hold back anymore and hugged Izuku tightly. "Thank you," she said through tears. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." "Shh, it's okay, Tohka," Izuku comforted, returning the embrace. "You shouldn't cry. You look much better when you smile, you know?" Tohka sniffled. "I thought you left me." "I would never do that," Izuku reassured her, feeling guilty for making her cry. "It was horrible feeling abandoned. I was worried, then sad and in pain. I don't want to be alone again," Tohka confessed. Izuku hugged her tightly, and Tohka broke down in tears. "Don't worry, I promise you'll never feel like that again. I'm here for you, Tohka." "Do you promise not to leave me?" Tohka asked. "I promise," Izuku replied firmly. "Will you always be with me?" "Always." "I'm glad to hear that," Tohka said, calming down. As Izuku started to pull away, Tohka tightened her grip. "A little longer," she requested. "Okay," Izuku agreed. "By the way, from now on, you're sleeping with me every day," Tohka declared, letting go of the hug. "What?" Izuku exclaimed. "That's the deal for making me wait. Next time, give me a heads up," Tohka teased. Okay, I'll let you know next time, and you can sleep whenever you want," Izuku sighed. Tohka giggled. Izuku thought, watching Tohka, she seems like a child. "By the way, Tohka, I'll be staying at home for 2 weeks more." 2 weeks? You'll be home longer? You thought of abandoning me?" Tohka exclaimed. "What? No. Didn't you forget what I said? I would never abandon you," Izuku reassured her. "Then explain," Tohka demanded. "Well, I'm going to a place called school," Izuku explained. "School?" Tohka said, taking a bite of the bread Izuku brought her. "It's delicious," she exclaimed. "Yeah, school is where you go to learn new things," Izuku continued. "Oh, I see," Tohka said, munching on the bread. "And when yesterday happened, they suspended classes for 2 weeks, or so I heard," Izuku added. So when the 2 weeks are over, you'll leave?" Tohka asked sadly. "Don't say it like that. I'll just go to school and come back, so relax," Izuku replied. "I understand," Tohka said, feeling Izuku's hand stroking her head. She closed her eyes, enjoying the moment. 2 weeks later. Izuku's POV. It's been 2 weeks. During this time, I've been teaching Tohka everything she needs to know, cooking, bathing, although I blushed when she wanted to bathe with me, making calls, ordering, and more, so that no one would suspect her. Sometimes I trained, leaving her a note. Other days, I patrolled, and sometimes Tohka wanted to come with me, so I accepted, as I only patrolled at night occasionally. Tohka has been sleeping with me since that day, and I had to get used to sleeping with a girl. Tohka has become more affectionate towards me, sometimes not leaving my side, even waking up early to train with me or watch me train. One day, she surprised me by wearing the clothes I bought her. I thought she'd keep them safe, but she said they were special because I gave them to her. It surprised me, and I blushed a little, but I was glad, and she looked beautiful in them. Sometimes, girls in those outfits attacked us during patrols, and I always fled to avoid fighting. But when Tohka was with me, I had to stop her from fighting and causing destruction. So, I realized that Tohka was what they were after more than me, so I started sneaking out secretly during my patrols. Sometimes she didn't even notice because she was asleep. End of Izuku's POV. We see Tohka grabbing Izuku by the waist, trying to prevent him from leaving the house. "Don't go," Tohka pleaded. "But I told you I'll come back. Besides, you were calm when I told you 2 weeks ago," Izuku reminded her. "Tohka, that was because it was 2 weeks away, and now it's over." Izuku, "Let go, Tohka, I'll be late for school." Tohka, "Well, then you'll be late, and if possible, you won't go at all. I want you to stay with me." Izuku sighed. "I have an idea," he said, stopping his struggling. "How about you come to school with me?" Tohka, "Me, go to school?" Izuku, "Of course, that way you can be with me and..." Tohka interrupted, "If I can be with you longer, then yes." She grabbed Izuku's hand. "Let's go to school." Izuku chuckled. "Then let's enroll you." They began walking. Even though I'm not sure how I managed it since we don't have any documents or anything. Minutes later. We see Izuku and Tohka leaving the principal's office. Tohka exclaimed, "Yes. I got in, and we're in the same class." She hugged Izuku. Izuku thought, "I can't believe they let her in, honestly. And she starts today. Damn it, even if they let her in, I thought it would start in a week or so," he sighed. Tohka let go of the hug and looked at one of the students. Without anyone noticing, she changed her clothes into the school uniform. Izuku thought, I'm glad that doesn't affect the clothes she's wearing. Tohka said, let's go to the classroom, Izuku. She started dragging Izuku along as he thought, although, come to think of it, how will Shido react when he sees Tohka? Since she almost killed him. I just hope this doesn't lead to problems. He glanced at Tohka who was dragging him. Although. It'll be interesting and I think fun. He smiled and then let go of Tohka's grip. Tohka, huh? What are you doing, Izuku? Then Izuku took her hand, surprising her and causing her to blush slightly, as usually, she's the one who does that. Izuku said, that's not the way, so I'll guide you, Tohka. He smiled gently. She nodded shyly, and they headed to the classroom. We see Izuku and Tohka arriving at the classroom. Izuku, we're here, Tohka. He said with a smile. Then Tohka hid behind Izuku. Izuku, Tohka? Tohka, Izuku. They won't attack me? She said, sounding serious and sad. Izuku, don't worry, they won't attack you. And if they do, I'll protect you. He said with a calm smile. Tohka, are you sure? Izuku, of course, besides, why are you suddenly like this? You were happy about starting school before. Tohka, it's because I'm happy to be with you. She said, blushing slightly, which made Izuku blush too. I was so happy that I didn't realize I still don't trust anyone except you, Izuku. She said and hugged Izuku from behind. Izuku, Tohka. Sighs, don't worry, like I said, I'll be with you no matter what. Tohka: ... You're right. And if they attack me, I'll defend myself and kill them, though you'll still protect me, Izuku. Izuku. It's not necessary to kill them, but of course, I'll protect you. He said with a smile. Tohka smiled with a slight blush, but then the teacher arrived. Teacher, Izuku, why aren't you in the classroom? Izuku, huh? He said, turning and noticing the teacher with a somewhat serious look, making him a little nervous. Tohka, Izuku, who is she? Izuku was about to answer, but the teacher interrupted. Teacher, I am the teacher, and you must be the new student the principal mentioned, so wait here, and I'll call you, and you, Izuku, go into the classroom. Izuku nodded and was about to enter, but Tohka grabbed his shirt. Izuku, Tohka, calm down, okay? They're just going to introduce you. Wait here, and the teacher will call you, okay? Tohka, what do I do when they call me? Izuku, just go in normally, say your name, and that's it. If you want, you can say something else. Tohka, got it. Teacher, Izuku. Izuku quickly entered the classroom, ignoring his classmates' looks, and sat in his seat. Shido, it's Izuku, I'll greet him after class. A few seconds later, the teacher entered. Teacher, good morning, everyone, and before we start the class, I want to give you a notice, and that is that you will have a new classmate. She said, and murmurs began. You can come in now. Then the door was opened, and Tohka entered, looking a little serious. Teacher, well, introduce yourself. Tohka felt uncomfortable with the looks from the boys, and the girls looked at her with a bit of jealousy because of her beauty. Tohka, my name is Tohka, nice to meet you. That's all she said, and silence filled the classroom. It was awkward. Izuku, well. I guess that went well. He thought comically. Teacher, is that all? Tohka, well, yes, what else can I say honestly? She said and thought. I don't know what else to say besides that. Teacher, any questions? She said, trying to break the ice, successfully. One of Izuku's classmates raised his hand. Student, do you have a boyfriend? All the boys paid attention, even Shido, who turned a little pale when he recognized Tohka, and well, something happened after that. Shido, I can't believe it's her. My sister told me everything. I still can't believe those spacequakes are caused by spirits. But I have to seal her abilities or powers. For everyone's sake. Although it's peculiar how I have to seal them. He thought nervously and a little red from remembering what his sister told him. Izuku, what's wrong with Shido? He might have recognized her. I hope there won't be any problems. Tohka, no, I don't have one. She said, answering the question, relieving everyone, Shido feeling relieved and Izuku calm. Although, I do want to have someone as a boyfriend. She thought while glancing at the green-haired boy, remembering various TV series and more she learned from the books he had. Female student, and where do you live? Tohka, with Izuku. She said simply. That surprised and shocked everyone. Izuku sank in his seat under the jealous gazes of the boys, while some girls looked at Tohka enviously. Teacher, okay, you can sit down, I'll start the class now. Tohka nodded and went to an available seat. That's how the rest of the day went. Izuku studied but nervously, feeling the stares. Now we see Izuku walking home with Tohka. Tohka, spending more time with you is amazing, Izuku. I had a good time. She said with a smile. Izuku was tired, as when the bell rang for break, all his classmates surrounded the green-haired boy except for one, Shido, who looked at him with pity but took advantage of the moment to talk to Tohka. He had to follow his little sister Kotori Itsuka's plan, so he had to escape as he didn't want to make a scene. That was his day. Izuku, I'm glad, Tohka, that someone had a good time. He said tired. Tohka, what's wrong? Are you tired? Does something hurt? Are you okay? She said worried. Izuku, why yeah, I'm just tired, nothing else. He said with a smile. They're so annoying, I spent almost the entire day avoiding them. He thought annoyed. Tohka, okay, when we get home, I'll do something to make you feel better. She said excitedly. Izuku, what is it, Tohka? Tohka, it's a surprise, Izuku. She said with a smile. Izuku, sigh okay, and tell me, how was your first day of class? Tohka, as I said, it was incredible, although I hardly spent any time with you because those people were chasing you. Were they playing? Izuku : yes. They were playing with me. Tohka, and I met someone today, his name is Shido. Izuku, really? I'm happy for you, Tohka, you made a friend. He said with a smile. That means Shido doesn't hold grudges against Tohka, which was expected, as Shido isn't that kind of person. Tohka, I think so, but he said some strange things to me. He asked me if I could go out with him. Izuku, oh. For what? Tohka, yeah, but I said no, although I don't know why he asked me that. Izuku, seriously, Shido fell in love? He just arrived. Something must be happening. He thought a little seriously. Tohka, Izuku? Izuku, huh? Tohka, are you really okay? Are you jealous? Izuku, what? He said, but then his face started to blush. Tohka, well, I saw on TV and in a book that a guy feels jealous when a girl close to him is asked out by another guy, right? Izuku, well, I'm not jealous, just thinking. Tohka, then why are you blushing? Izuku, because you caught me by surprise. Tohka, whatever you say, Izuku. She said with a smile. By the way. She said, standing in front of Izuku. Izuku, what's up? Tohka, do I look pretty in the uniform? Izuku. Is that all? Tohka, yes. Am I bothering you or something? She said, pretending to be sad. Izuku, no. Of course, you look lovely, no, you look beautiful, Tohka. He said, but then blushed at what he said. Tohka, I'm glad you think so, Izuku. She said with a smile and a slight blush. Maybe. I should accept, my classmates told me to do something so that Izuku sees me more than a friend. Then they arrived, stored their things, got dressed, well, only Izuku, and went to the living room, and Izuku was the first to sit on the couch inside. Izuku, finally home. Tohka, by the way. Izuku, I know. I'll buy your supplies later, since you spent almost the whole class hour telling me what they said, and you didn't write anything down because you don't have any notebooks. He said, thinking. What kind of school starts like this out of nowhere? Tohka, that's not. Well, yes, but it was something else. Izuku, and what is it? Tohka, wait here. She said and quickly left the house. Izuku was confused but didn't pay much attention. He was very tired from today, and he couldn't imagine the rest of the days now. Izuku, I thought there wouldn't be any problems, but it wasn't like that. He thought while comically crying. Then Tohka arrives. Tohka, I'm back. She said, facing Izuku. Izuku, and what were you going to tell me? Tohka didn't say anything, adjusted her hair, this confused him, then she took something out of her pocket, put it in her mouth, which only confused the green-haired boy more, and unbuttoned one of his shirt buttons, and began to approach him. Izuku, wait, Tohka. He said nervously, and she didn't respond, just gestured for him to take the piece of paper. To end this, he grabbed the paper quickly. Tohka, I hope my classmates are right. she said and closed her eyes. Izuku, it's the first time Tohka behaves like this. He thought, blushing, and then noticed that the paper had something written on it. Will you go out with me? He went blank and didn't know what to answer. Then he looked at Tohka, and she had her eyes closed, seemingly waiting for his answer. Tohka, did you read it already? I want you to go out with me. Izuku, but why didn't you tell me before doing this or just give me the paper normally? Tohka, it's because one of my classmates recommended me to tell you like this, as I wanted to tell you this, but I couldn't say it properly. Izuku, and is this proper? What were they thinking? Did they want to corrupt her? He thought a little annoyed by what they made Tohka do. Tohka. Fine, if you want to go out with me, I have no problem. Tohka, then. Izuku, yes, Tohka, let's go out. He said with a smile. Tohka couldn't contain her excitement. When Izuku was about to say something, she threw herself at him. Izuku, next time, let me know, He couldn't finish as Tohka kissed Izuku. He was shocked and blushing, his mind at that moment was chaos. The kiss lasted for a few seconds, and they separated for lack of air. Tohka, I'll tell you when, I'm going to sleep, I'm a little tired. She said and quickly went to the green-haired boy's room, leaving Izuku lying there with a blank mind. Izuku, what just happened? Daigoro, well, what else? It was a kiss, huh? You're becoming a ladies' man. Nana, you've grown up, I'm proud of you. Hikage, finally, you have a girlfriend. 9th. Yoichi, youth surprises me more. Sai, although it was obvious. Nana, that's right. Izuku. Maybe. This isn't so bad. He said with a smile and looked at the ceiling. It felt good. We'll see what happens now, although it will be a bit awkward because of what happened. He said somewhat nervously. Izuku got up and sighed heavily. Izuku, I'm tired and a little hungry, maybe Tohka is too, so I'll make dinner now. What the green-haired boy didn't expect was that there would soon be some things that would surprise our green-haired friend. We see Izuku waking up slowly, feeling a weight on top of him. Izuku, must be Tohka, she likes to sleep here. He thought as he began to get up slowly. Izuku managed to stand up and noticed that Tohka had all the sheets on top of her, so he helped her. Izuku, there, now she can breathe better and be more comfortable. He thought and saw Tohka, then he saw her lips and remembered the kiss. I can't get that out of my head. He thought, blushing. When he left the room, Tohka began to wake up slowly. Tohka, I slept well, she said as she stretched. Though I feel a bit normal? She thought, but didn't think much of it. Then she got up, tried to change clothes but... She was confused because she hadn't changed her clothes. She tried again but nothing. Tohka, am I tired? She said, confused. Although this outfit is one that Izuku gave me, I appreciate it a lot, she said, hugging herself. I'll talk to Izuku about what happened to my abilities, even though I don't remember changing clothes as soon as I entered Izuku and my room. Maybe he fixed the uniform I used with my ability, and I had this clothes on when I used my ability since it doesn't affect the clothes I wear, she said as she thought but sighed and left the room, went to the bathroom, got ready, then went out, and started going down the stairs. When she went down, she felt the sweet smell of Izuku's food, so she quickly went to the dining room and sat down, waiting for our green-haired friend's food. Then the green-haired one arrives with 2 plates, giving her one. As soon as he gave it to her, she started eating as if there was no tomorrow, then she sat down and also started eating. Izuku, slow down, Tohka, you'll choke, he said worriedly as he watched Tohka eat. Tohka, relax, Izuku, she said and kept eating. Izuku, sigh, by the way, after what happened yesterday, you stopped talking to me until today, even when I opened the door, you didn't even look at me. Tohka, well, I thought you would be mad at me for what I did. Izuku, mad? At you? Tohka, yes, since you didn't say anything, I thought you didn't like it and I left quickly, she said and stopped eating. Izuku, Tohka, keep eating, okay? I'm not mad or anything like that, I was just surprised and shocked by what you did, although I liked it a lot, he said, blushing a bit. Tohka, I'm glad it's like that, she said and kept eating. Izuku, he was sad and now he's not, he changes moods quickly. He thought comically. By the way, where did you learn to kiss? Or rather, where did you learn what a kiss is? Tohka, television, she said simply and kept eating. Izuku, I have to make her stop watching so much television. He thought with a sweat drop. Although it would be better if I hurry up and eat since I saw the weather is cloudy, he said and looked at Tohka, noticing that she went to take the plate. Seriously, eat faster. He thought with a chibi face. Izuku hurried, then took the plate to the sink, noticed that Tohka washed her plate, so he only washed his, put it in its place, and went to the entrance, noticing that Tohka was waiting for him. Tohka, let's go, Izuku. Izuku, wait, I have to take an umbrella, he said and grabbed one. Tohka, why? Izuku, didn't I tell you the weather is cloudy? Tohka, he, I didn't pay attention to that part because I was eating, besides, I don't think it will rain. Izuku, sigh whatever, let's go, he said and they started to leave. On the way, they started talking, the weather was cloudy and it started to rain. Tohka, Izuku, the umbrella. Izuku, sigh, I told you, he said and opened the umbrella. They continued on their way. Tohka took the opportunity to hug Izuku's arm. He was a little surprised and had a slight blush, but sighed. They continued their way. Some people walked quickly beside them because of the rain, and when they saw them, they said, "What a cute couple," which made Izuku blush and Tohka had a slight blush but was happy, so she hugged Izuku a little tighter. Izuku, I didn't think of being Tohka's partner honestly, I just wanted to help her but I don't know what I feel now honestly. Maybe when Tohka says when the date will be, I'll find out what I really feel. Although I did like that kiss. I can't forget it. He thought with a chibi face. Then Izuku and Tohka passed by a park. Tohka was talking to Izuku about things, he just listened, but then he saw the small park and noticed something, so he stopped walking, confusing Tohka. Tohka, what's wrong, Izuku? Izuku, here, he said, giving her the umbrella so she wouldn't get wet. Tohka, but what about you? You'll get wet, she said, concerned. Izuku, don't worry and wait for me here, okay? Tohka, but what are you going to do? Izuku, I saw something, I'll be back, can you wait for me? Or if you want, you can go and wait for me in class and. He was interrupted. Tohka, no, I'll wait for you, I won't leave you here especially in this rain, she said, and then she felt a kiss on her forehead from Izuku, which made Tohka blush. Izuku, I'm glad, Tohka, he said with a smile. Then Izuku went to the small park, confusing Tohka even more. Tohka, he's going to play? Without me? She thought with a chibi face. Izuku walked through the small park and noticed a little girl with a peculiar outfit and she had a puppet in her hand. It seemed like she was playing in a puddle. Izuku, hey, he said, and when the girl saw the green-haired one, she moved away a little. No, don't be afraid, I won't hurt you, calm down, he said and she stood still. Why are you here in the middle of a storm? You're getting wet and you can get sick, he said, and she didn't say anything. Sai, what's your name? Then she moved her hand that was the puppet and in that moment. Yoshinin, my name is Yoshinin, and this cute girl is called Yoshino. Izuku didn't know what to answer honestly, as he had a sweat drop because of the names of the puppet and the girl, but he was surprised by the puppet that spoke. Izuku, that thing isn't natural, he said with a chibi face. You're good at making the puppet talk without moving your mouth. Yoshino, he said with a smile. Yoshino, my name is Yoshino. It's my name, she said in a whisper. Izuku, I thought she was mute. He thought comically. And what are you doing here? Yoshinin, we're playing alone because we don't have friends, but nah, Yoshino and I are best friends, I'm her hero. Izuku chuckled a bit. Yoshinin, what are you laughing at? Izuku, nothing, it's just that I'm glad you're friends, my name is Izuku Midoriya, if you want, I can help you find your parents, Yoshino, he said and noticed that she lowered her head a bit, realizing the situation. Sorry, I didn't. He couldn't finish because Yoshino ran away. Izuku, wait, Yoshino, he said, and when he was about to follow her, he heard Tohka's voice. Darn it, I don't want Tohka to wait any longer in the middle of the storm. I hope I see Yoshino again. Take care. He thought and went back to Tohka. Tohka, where were you? She thought, worried, but then she saw Izuku approaching. She quickly approached him, covering him with the umbrella. Izuku, sorry if I made you wait, Tohka. Tohka, it's okay, but what were you doing? Izuku, nothing, let's just go, or we'll be late for school. Tohka, sigh fine. Then they started to leave, not noticing that a blue-haired girl along with her puppet were following them.